Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the hosted solo cruise meetup. I'm Chillie Falls coming to you from Bedford County, Virginia. And over there, that
Yeah,
would be Pete. He's over on the other side of the pond.
I sure am, Chillie. It's 11 o'clock at night in the UK,
Yeah, well,
and I
way
still,
past your bedtime.
I know it is. I still got a little bit of the eye infection, as you can probably see there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's looking forward because I've cruised on the Epic twice, transatlantic, and did back-to-back Caribbean. I was booked twice on the Escape and cancelled because of obviously what happened with the pandemic and stuff.
Yeah.
I was gutted because the Escape looked an amazing ship, and it seems one of those ships where people who cruise on her just absolutely love her as well. So hopefully I can answer any questions, or I can certainly give advice about the Epic.
Yeah.
You know,
All right. Well, so everybody knows we have two hosted cruises that are booked and we're ready to go on. One, of course, is the Norwegian Escape on December the 2nd. And the other one is the Norwegian Epic on January 28th. For those of you, if you're watching and know Fran, either from one of our previous cruises or from the stuff she did on the December cruise, like she's the one that put up the spreadsheet for everybody to log where where they were dining in case we needed to hook other people together. That was Fran that did that. But if those of you that are watching this may or may not know, she had a little surgery today, and I talked to her a few minutes ago. She's doing really well. She's back home. I don't know that they did not do a hip replacement today. It was more of a clean out kind of situation. So we're going to have to see what happens with Fran going ahead, if she's going to be able to go with us December 2nd. We certainly hope so.
fingers crossed. We've got a couple of messages. We've got Laurie B. Hi, Laurie. How are you doing?
Hi, Lori. Good to have you here.
And we have Linda from Orlando who's on the 28th. She's on the Epic. So,
Very
Linda,
good.
I've cruised on the Epic twice. Said back-to-backs, 20 odd days. I did the transatlantic from Barcelona, and I stayed on her to do the Caribbean because it's a long way from the UK. So I can answer any questions you have about the Epic. I personally love the Epic, and the Epic has more solo studio cabins than any other cruise ship out there. And it's so. Please, any questions, ask me. I can certainly give you my advice about the Epic. I can't about the Escape.
Hey, there's Christine. Christine, I didn't think you were going to be able to be here tonight. What do you know? Robert's with us. Hi, Robert. Just saw a notice that you were going live. I'm free to watch. Glad to see you twice in the same day. Thank you, Robert. Maybe we'll make up for our recent absences from your show. That's okay. Anyway, Chris, I'm glad you're with us. Gary Older than Dirt. He's on the Epic as well. All right, so basically what I thought we'd do, folks, is just run over a little bit about my responsibilities and what I do. Chris is in Colorado. Okay. El Rondo is here. Cheers, Pete. I met you on the Encore inaugural transatlantic in 2019. Good to see you.
That's from Southampton to New York, and it kind of did the Titanic route, didn't it? I got a video of this water hitting the observation lounge, this wave on deck like 18. So that was, but cruise into New York, which is an incredible cruise. And I was actually driving the go-karts when I went under the famous bridge at New York, which is amazing. So yeah. And
I'm flying out, and I'm sailing out in New York next week. I'm sailing from Brooklyn, which I've sailed from Manhattan a couple of times before. This will be my first time at Red Hook. So
the sailing to New York was amazing. I think we met the Escape actually, because we and the Escape, I think it was the Escape, we met at the Statue of Liberty at sunset, which was incredible, because it was obviously the inaugural cruise, for the Encore, which I loved, by the way.
Carol's with us. Hi, Carol. Was on the Escape 3 weeks ago. Very nice. All right. So first of all, there's been some I don't know if it's misinformation or confusion over what a host does. So, Pete,
Yep.
you want to answer what a host does on these cruises?
Yeah, a host is there to help. A host is not an entertainer. You're not a rep, basically. Yeah, you're not there to fix issues, although we try to if we can do. We're there to help because a hosted cruise is about dipping in and dipping out of anything that we do as much as you want to, basically, right? If you want to be by yourself the entire time, you can do. If you want to be involved in what we do, you can do. So what we do is we help organize events with fellow solos so other solos can meet each other and you can enjoy each other's company. So we do things like coffee meetings, where and we do breakfast club. And we have with Norwegian, we do the main solo meeting is actually with the main solo meeting that they do, and we then go and eat with you, and we help maybe do some of the specialty restaurants. So we may go and go and see a show with you as well. We're kind of the rock. That's what we are. We're kind of the rock that there's someone there if you need them more than anything else. Yeah. And so that's really what a host job is to do, to bring everybody together so the host can enjoy the cruise as well, basically. Yeah. So the host isn't there to be on every trip. It's not there to be organizing all these different parties and all these different things on the cruise. It's there to help get everybody together as much as they can, because it's not in your face. It's not being, some people think, oh my God, a hosted cruise, I'm going to have to do this, I'm going to have to do that, we're all going to go together to do that. It isn't. You do as much as you want. And the coffee meetings, for instance, were so good because if you knew the host was going to be there. So if you needed to speak to the host would be there. Because especially for people who haven't cruised before, or haven't cruised solo before, it could be really daunting. So it's helping create a community and to be part of that community. That's really what I would say a host is. And also to do what we're doing now, to be upfront, to organize a list of things that we are going to do, which you can dip in and dip out as much as you want, and to go live the week beforehand to go through everything with you. And of course, if there are issues, we're there to listen, but we can't necessarily fix them. But we are there. So that's what a host is.
And I want to also say that all of us that are hosting cruises might do things a little bit differently.
Every
So
host is
what
different.
I'm basically doing for my two cruises, the one in December and the one in January, on both on embarkation day, because we never know what the weather's going to be like. Probably in somewhere in the later afternoon, like 3 o'clock, I'm going to be in Oceans. Now, on the Escape, that's deck 7. On the Epic, it's deck 6. So I'll be there in the afternoon because I need some time to run around and do setting up things.
He's going there because he's going to go for the chicken wings, isn't he, with a buffalo sauce and stuff like that. Because Oceans is fantastic. The chicken wings there are just amazing, by the way.
Yeah, and I've never had them.
Ah, yeah.
The I've eaten a lot of other meals there.
No, every time I go on the Epic, the buffalo chicken wings.
I'm not much of a wings person. Absolutely. But anyway, I'll be the big fat guy in the wheelchair with an adult beverage. That I can guarantee you. Yeah. Now, probably whenever they have it scheduled, and I'm not going to know till I get on the ship because they won't let me contact these people ahead of time. Whenever they have their first solo meetup that day, we collectively are all going. It's probably going to be somewhere like 5 o'clock. It might be a little later at 6 o'clock. It might be a little earlier at 4:30, but somewhere along in there, they will have a solo meetup
in the studio lounge. Guarantee
the
the studio lounge.
It
Yeah.
should be in the studio.
It will be. It will be the studio lounge. You know, that's where they meet, because you're going, folks. You're going on a cruise line that kind of has a kind of a host on it as well. You know, when I've been on it, I haven't been on it recently, but you know, you had a member of the entertainment team who is designated each cruise. Like one member of the entertainment team is designated on each cruise to the solos. That one person. They will run all the solo meetings there, which we will obviously work with them with because of the amount of numbers we have with it. Yeah. And what they do is, again, the solo meetings are in the studio lounge, which has the best coffee machine on the ship, by the way. Free cappuccinos, lattes, all there for you in the studio lounge, right? And they'll have a meeting probably around about 5:30, a get together for everybody, basically, right? And that's when everybody will then have the opportunity of going to eat together if they want, or your community in together if they want to, all these different things. They will be there. And it always depends on the host from the cruise line. Sometimes the entertainment host is amazing. And they organize things like, for instance, on the Epic, for instance, you got the two restaurants, Taste and Manhattan, right? I'll give you a tip, right? If you're going to go to eat in one of the restaurants, go to Manhattan's, not to Taste. Two reasons. One, in Manhattan's, it's closer to the kitchens. The food is hotter, right? I noticed that, right? I did notice that. But secondly, Manhattan's, they have entertainment there. They have a dance floor and they have professional entertainment for the meals. And not only that, they have these two huge round tables, the captain's table, where you could sit, I think, 10 or 15 people, two of them in prime spot. So you could grab those as well. So I would recommend Manhattan's rather than Taste.
That's also something that will, I'll coordinate with the Norwegian guy once I meet him for a breakfast meeting. What I do, which is a little different from the way Pete does it, I go to the main dining room that does breakfast. Probably
that'll be Taste. That will be Taste. Manhattan doesn't do breakfast.
At least on Epic. I don't know on Escape.
Escape different, yeah.
Whichever one does breakfast. Okay. I'm going to try to get us a section of tables that I will be at for 2 hours. Whatever time it opens. If it opens at 6, I'll be there from 6 to 8. If it opens at 8:30, I'll be there from 8:30 to 10:30. So whatever time it opens, I'll be there for 2 hours. Now I might be sitting there drinking coffee. I might have my breakfast, but that you can come and go as you please. If somebody has any questions or comments or thoughts, I'll be there guaranteed for 2 hours. Most of you know I do a show every day at 11 o'clock. That's Eastern time. I continue that on my cruises, wherever I am, at 11 o'clock Eastern time. So if we have ship hour changes, that changes on the ship too, but I still do it at 11 o'clock. So I'm going to do my show from someplace on the ship. It might be in the dining room, depending on what time I'm in there.
Be there with Chillie.
So I'll do my show from anywhere. Sometimes it's up on the pool deck, wherever I can get a good signal and the right time. And then, so we'll have a breakfast meeting, and that'll be every day.
Yeah. So that would be the breakfast meeting.
In ports.
And the main meeting will be in the studio lounge.
The main meeting in the studio lounge.
And if you're not in a studio, by the way, this is how it works. The studio lounge is officially for only people who are in the studio cabins. You can do what I did when I was in the balcony. I knocked at the door, basically, and they let me in. But the studio lounge is open for everybody who's solo for the meetings. They open it up. Everyone can go there for the meetings. So, again, there's going to be already 2 meetings, which is really important as a group. The breakfast one, if you want to do it, and also the solar one in the studio, because Norwegian do that. It works really well. And that's where everybody can then have that decision to eat together. And what happens is you become a community.
Yeah.
And hopefully you click with certain people and you have a wonderful time. That's what it's all about, because it means a lot of solos enjoy the day by themselves.
Sure.
But they don't want to eat by themselves. I didn't. That was me. I like to have my own time of the day, but I didn't want to eat by myself. Billy no mates, look at me. So again, that option's there. So that's what we're trying to do. And also talking about, we're talking about going on excursions. Chillie may be on some of those excursions, he may not. But what you can do is, when you have those meetings, you can talk about the next day excursion and say, who fancies doing this together? I had that on our cruises where we had the meetup, and some people went, I want to do the tour bus. I want to do it. So they did it together. One person that's in Barcelona said, I want to get a taxi and have a tour around Barcelona and a taxi. 3 others went, I'll join you. So they shared a taxi, had an amazing time. I've got to answer a question, by the way, from Kenneth. Sorry, Kenneth, I'm not on these cruises. I'm in the UK at the moment. So Chillie is hosting his cruises. I definitely cannot wait to come over and co-host a cruise at some point. I really want to do that. And I think that's Emily, yeah. I'm feeling better. My eye infection is slowly going down, but I don't look great. That's why I haven't got a light on and stuff like that. Can I give some advice about the Epic?
El Rondo says that Taste and Savor usually opens at 7. So that's cool. So 7 to 9, I'll be there. If that's what time it is, I'll be there for 2 hours.
Now, what I would say is that we have a group for both cruises, yeah? Now, that group is all about obviously seeing what other people post, but also posting anything that you'd want to do to see if anybody else wants to do that. So please post in those groups. We'll make sure you've joined those groups, yeah? Because that's a way of contacting. And Chillie will go live the week before your cruise.
Yeah.
And he will have a list of all the meeting points, the times, and everything that we're going to do on there. I know you want to do a bar crawl and stuff like that.
Yeah, the first sea day, probably at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
In the afternoon, I'm going to do a bar crawl. So we will start at a unnamed bar at this time, but let's say Mix. Okay. We start off at Mix Bar. And if you want to have a cocktail, you have a cocktail. If you don't have to. Some of you might want to get a Diet Coke. I don't know. But we stay there a few minutes and we go on to the next bar. Yeah. And we do the same thing. Some people might want a cocktail at every stop. But we try to hit every bar on the ship.
As long as you go live afterwards, when I see what condition you're in, Chillie.
Well, yeah, I mean that's all part of it.
I just talk about the Epic. I can't talk about the Escape. Yeah, there's a couple of things I would say for everybody about the Epic. First of all, the Epic is known as a little bit what we call in the UK a Marmite ship, a little bit of a love-hate ship. The reason it's a love-hate ship is in some of the balcony cabins and the normal outside cabins, they have a slightly odd bathroom arrangement, which is not that private. That's not a problem for us, because if you've got a balcony, it doesn't matter, so that is not an issue. There's a few things. I had the most amazing cruises on the Epic. Top deck is just amazing. We had wonderful weather all the way through, including obviously going around the Caribbean, and they had all these parties going on top deck, and they were incredible. Yeah. What the Epic has, I don't know the Escape has it. It probably does. Epic has Spice H2O.
Yeah.
Spice H2O is a whole area at the back of the ship, including the bar and some food as well. Yeah. Whole area, adult only in the day. Adult only. That's a great place to hang out. If you want to get away from the kids that may be on the ship and stuff like that. It is amazing, right? The Epic, I'm not sure about Escape. The Epic also has the Cavern Club. The Cavern Club is a replica of the Cavern Club from the Beatles from Liverpool. And they certainly had when I was on it, and I would hope they still have it. They had a Beatles a tribute group on it. Now I tell you now, that group were amazing. They really were stunning. Now they do shows in the main theatre as well, right? And but I got to say, when they do the Cavern Club, get there early, grab a table, right? And it's literally you feel like you're back in the 60s in Liverpool. It really is. I did it, right, Chillie. I grabbed the table, got there really early, watched a fantastic rock band beforehand, had the best table there, right? Beatles were just about to come on, and some guy with a walking stick walked next to me trying to find a table, and there wasn't any. So obviously I gave him my table.
Yeah.
So, but it was honestly, that is amazing. It really is. So I really cannot recommend that enough. The entertainment on the Epic was fantastic. So, but that
All
was
right.
a few years ago.
Carol just pointed out something. She said Spice excuse me, Spice H2O is not handicap accessible on the Epic. It is on the Escape. Now, what I had to do on the Joy, it didn't look like it was accessible, but there's actually a ramp that's hidden down on the end that comes out kind of in the back of the bar that I could take the chair up and access it that way. So I don't know if the Epic might be like that. And of course, I haven't been on the Escape, but what might do. I mean, there's also in Spice H2O, even if you can't go up the couple steps to the bar, there's tables and stuff for people, where they'll service you. So we can do that.
I see Joe. Joe is on the Azamara with me. I'm on the Azamara next month. Can't
Yeah.
wait, Joe, for that cruise on the Pursuit. Amazing, Monte Carlo. That's going to be amazing.
All right, now on both of my cruises, on the second sea day, and probably it'll be 1:00 again. I'm going to do a slot pull. I do it the way I do them. Everybody does them a little different. Mine's $20. If you want to participate, you kick in. We see how many people we get. Let's say we get 20 people, and we go to one of the machines. And I generally try to find like a $5 machine, so that if you do hit, you're going to hit for something really good. We figure out how many pulls each person gets from the total pool that we have. And usually, let's say if you put up $20, you get something like 5 pulls or something. And then we keep track of the winnings, and whatever the total winnings is at the end, we split it up. Or some people say, well, just roll it on back. If you haven't had a real good one, maybe you'll still hit on the backside. So it depends on what everybody wants as to how we do it. The person that actually wins the most money, the reason we track each person's pulls, is the person that wins the most money gets the extras, the change. When you divide it up, if it comes out in some odd change or odd dollars.
See, I love that, Chillie. I love
the.
See, hosted cruises are evolving. We've only been doing them recently. Unlike other companies, we don't charge for a host. In fact, the opposite. We only do a hosted cruise if we can get a great deal. Other companies that do hosted cruises actually charge extra for a host on board. But I'm learning all the time as well. My first hosted cruise, Chillie, I had 300 solos on board. 300 on the Virtuosa. Wow, that was in at the deep end. That would have been a good slot ball, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that big. You never get done.
I know. But we are evolving everything we're doing. We're learning all the time. But there's one priority for a hosted cruise, is that you have a great time, as good a time as you can, and you get involved as much as you want to. And especially for anyone who hasn't cruised solo before, having that rock on board, to be there, who can help guide you to have because it can be daunting. That is great as well. So that's what we try to do.
And I hope we'll be able to get, it'd be great if we get something to raffle off. Hint, Pete.
Yeah,
We
I
have
know.
asked for that, so we're going to see if that comes through.
Yeah,
Um,
we do a raffle for the UK hosted cruises. As far as I'm concerned, we should be doing a raffle for the USA hosted cruises. So, and including a voucher for a future cruise. I will ask the powers that be to approve it. I'm sure they will do. But yeah, that'll be great fun as well. And then like all this will be announced the week before, because that's what we do, and we will try to talk to them on board beforehand, by the way, Chillie, as well, because in the UK, we always talk to everybody. We try to get as much info beforehand as we can to help us know, which is the right venue, and it can go wrong. I organized a cocktail meetup on the first day on the ship, and in a great observation lounge bar at 3:00, and the bar won't open. Who would have thought that? So now we have to make sure we got the times, and there's another. I did a celebrity ship, and the first coffee meeting in the morning, we had 90 people there, and there's only one venue where we could cope for that. But that venue didn't have the bar open at all, so you had to bring your own coffee. But they were then doing quizzes there, which was madness. Well, they didn't open the bar, and we opened it. We got there for 9:30 for that meeting. At the same time, we found out they had a meditation class in the same venue.
Yeah.
Meditation class with 90 solos, but it worked out. And Celebrity were amazing, by the way, in what they did. Apart from that bar not being open, which is mad.
Carol says on the Epic, it's a full flight of stairs to H2O. Yeah, if I have to go up a full flight of stairs, I don't do that. I can't do that.
Yeah. So you'll be by the pool.
I can struggle maybe and pull up 2 steps, but that's about it.
Yeah.
So, I'm good for 7 to 10 steps total. And that's max.
And again, quite often, we want to enjoy the cruise. Excuse me. And we don't know what's going on until we get on the ship, and we kind of react. It's like we talk to each other and go, what do you think are the best places to go tonight? What would you like to do tomorrow? We've got white night, or we got this party and stuff like that. We don't want to plan, this is what we're doing every single day. Lots of it, we react and we learn. And sometimes we have to move venues, because they're not the right venue. These things happen all the time. Just going to get a glass of water.
Yeah. See, Kenneth is asking about what cabins I'm on for which cruise. I'm on the Escape. I think I'm on 11, and the Epic, I think I'm downstairs, maybe 6. I don't remember, Kenneth.
Yeah, because you're not in a studio, because they're not.
I'm not that close to them.
And Norwegian, as someone has mentioned earlier, they've announced more solo cabins, i.e. balconies, which they're going to use for solo. Insides they're going to use for solos as well. They are really going. Norwegian Cruise Line, when I first started cruising solo, were the reason I could afford to cruise solo, because I couldn't afford those. I couldn't afford to pay double. I got the studio rates, and it was affordable as a solo to do. Yeah, but they were always the leaders before COVID. The leaders for solo cruising with what they did. They're now taking another step forward with these extra cabins, and also, they want to work with us. Just to give you some announcement, Norwegian Cruise Line.
Keep it going, Pete.
Yeah, Norwegian Cruise Line want to work with us. Yeah, they want to have a lot more hosted cruises in the future. So we have put a lot of dates to them for hosted cruises, and with a hosted cruise, it means we get a group rate. If you get a group rate in America, we can negotiate the group rate. Otherwise, you have to stick with the online price. You can't undercut the online price. You can just give a few extra benefits on top of that. So we are negotiating a load more cruises for next year with Norwegian, and we will get some great prices. I know that, for instance, our balcony, I think on the December the 2nd one, I think it might have been that one, it's about $1,000 cheaper than it was online. Obviously, the online price was crazy, but that was affordable. So there's a lot more coming. So Norwegian Cruise Line are the one cruise line that are really being open to what we're trying to do. And we are hopefully going to get more from them and other cruise lines as we come in the future. Do you get reserved seating in the venues for the shows, Carol? Um, you don't, but it depends on your actual entertainment host from Norwegian, because they basically, and it depends on your cruise director. Because when I was on the Epic, the cruise director told the solo host that they can reserve spots. I can't remember. I can't remember what the reserve. If I can't remember the name they called it for those who go in what you call the posh cabins. Yeah,
Yeah.
they had their own seats in the theatre. They reserved the row behind for the solos. That was because the cruise director wanted that to happen. So, but what you can do is you go as a group together, and you go and see the show together. By the way, just to let you know, I was on the Epic. I got chosen to go on the stage. I didn't want to. I sat at the back of the theatre. I ended up on the stage with my head in a guillotine in the magician show.
Ah, very
And
good.
and he chopped my
But
head
he
off.
didn't cut your head off.
No, he originally chose
Oh,
me. Was
too bad.
the dummy he had in the basket was bald, and obviously that's it. But the theatre's huge, by the way, absolutely huge, and the shows were amazing.
Well, I've found it has been successful for me to get with, again, the Norwegian person and say, okay, we got so many people that want to go to the show tonight.
Yeah.
Can you make it happen?
Yeah, they can.
And they can.
They
So-
can, but you need to talk to the cruise director, because when
Yeah.
we did it, right, we had those seats, and the person who was outside the theatre went, "No, you can't do it." Well, the cruise director had a serious word. He goes, "That's my theatre. I can do what I want. They will reserve those seats for you," and they did. You do Choir of Man. I did the Choir of Man. I actually, on the Choir of Man's an amazing show, by the way. And beforehand, they got the pub on there on the theatre, and they opened the pub up, so you can actually walk onto the stage before the show starts and have a drink. So I sat at the bar with my pint glass, and there were so many of us on the stage, they actually ran out of beer. They had to change. The actor had to change the barrel on stage. So that was, yeah. So that Choir Man's a great show.
And a question that was asked about
Yes, I did.
travel solos if they're married and traveling solos. Man, a lot of people do that. Maybe their mate doesn't like to cruise. Maybe their mate is working. Maybe their mate can't cruise for one reason or another.
Solo doesn't mean single.
Yeah.
That's why we call it Cruises for Solos. My group, Cruises for Solos. Passion for Cruises. Solo does not mean single.
And it can be single. It can be married.
Yeah.
It can
Sometimes
be green, blue, black, brown, bald, gray. The hell, it doesn't matter.
Grandma Foxes. I've been married for 38 years and travel solo. There you go. Absolutely. Yeah. And sometimes actually you can get, when we get these amazing solo deals, the price could be no single supplement. So actually, why have one cabin? We can have two. Some clever people have done that as well. Yes. Well, I did go on stage for a beer at the opening of the Choir of Man. Absolutely. You've got to get yourself a nice free pint, even though I did have the drinks package.
All right, guys. Any more questions for us?
Yeah.
Was,
so just to go back on everything, Chillie, I mean, please use the group. Yeah. If you need to
Facebook
ask Chillie
group.
a question, he will be cruising soon. So, he won't always be able to answer it quickly, but someone will answer it. I will try to answer it as well. Ask a question on the group, make a suggestion in the group. But Chillie will go live the week before to talk about all the meetups that are arranged. And then everything, once you're on the ship, things will evolve, basically. and that's what we want to do. They'll evolve, and everyone hopefully have a wonderful time. How many are going on the 28th, Chillie? About
28th is 27, I think it is.
Yeah, about 27. A really
27 on
lovely
one,
size group.
23 on the other.
Yeah, we
All
got
right,
two.
one other thing that I need to announce, folks. Most of you know that Mary has been posting solo deals on the Passion for Cruises USA Solos page.
Yeah, Facebook group. Yeah,
she's posting every day.
yeah.
Some of you have been interested in that, and of course, the instructions are to call our hotline.
Yeah, always call a hotline
and give you the number. Keep in mind that when she posts one of those, we have no guarantee how long that's good for. That's entirely up to the cruise line. It might only be good for a day. It might be good for a month. If you're interested in it, get a hold of them through the hotline, and at least put a deposit down.
Can I give you an update? Can I give everybody an update on what we're doing with the group, by the way? Yeah. As you know, Passion for Cruises UK, 37,000, 38,000 strong now. We won Travel Agency of the Year award, for High Streets UK, and incredibly successful. We're the #1 solo agency probably in the world now. What we do in the UK. Now, the USA, we've only been going about 7, 8 months. Yeah. The group's only been going that short period of time. And the way things work in America is different to the way things work in the UK. We have to work under the American rules. That's what we have to do. But we are getting there. So just to let you know, there's a few things that are coming in the next few weeks, hopefully. Yeah. One, there will be a website. Yeah. And the website will have solo cruises on it. We are also working, because of the way things work in America, where we have to go on a non-hosted cruise, where we have to go with the online price. We can't undercut it. We're not allowed to. Yeah. Then we are now we're going to do packages together. We're going to put packages together with options of everything included, like flights and hotels and things like that. We do that in the UK. Hugely successful as well. The website will have the top 20 hosted cruises. Sorry, top 20 solo cruises on it. Yeah. That's going to be a move forward. And there will be an email sign up where you can sign up with an email like we do in the UK. And every so often we will do an email run, of saying this deal's just come out. So you get to see it before anybody else does, or we're going live, that kind of thing, where you can also sign up for that as well. Yeah. It's really worth doing it. It works so well in the UK. So all these things are happening. And Mary, at one moment, she is finding these amazing solo deals. Yeah. But they're not exclusive to us. We're not even going to admit that because, we're going to admit that because that's what is out there. But we are finding those, and we are adding extra spending money onto them as well. But if she works really hard to find them, if you see an amazing deal, please always call our hotline. Yeah. And to do that. And what we want to do is, once we have the website up there and everything's set in motion and the email is set up, so we've got more cruises there for everybody to see, that's when we're going to really try and push the group as much as we possibly can to get it as large as we can, so we can get as many more cruise lines going, hey, we have to go with these people. Look at the numbers. Because in the UK, we were in the Times, Sunday Times, they called us Solo Power because of the size of Passion for Cruises group and Cruises for Solos. They called it Solo Power. You had so much Solo Power that cruise lines are going, this is what we do. We want to cruise with you. So all this is coming. So please be patient. There will be a whole load of hosted cruises coming in the next month. There's no doubt about that. The website's coming. So we are getting there. But we can only work. It takes time. So it took Passion for Cruises in the UK 8 years to get where we are. So honestly, we're getting there. So please be patient. But it's coming, and we are so proud, Chillie, to do this. for the solo community, because we're solo cruisers ourselves. We're having to pay double that money. We're having, I couldn't cruise with these different cruise lines because I couldn't afford to. So we're there fighting for solos. The UK, we've pretty well won that fight for the moment. Things can always change. America, we're getting there, but we can't get there without you. If you aren't booking the cruises, if you're not doing these, if you're not part of the group and the group's not growing, it's never going to work. It's all about the members. Honestly, that's what I try to say.
All right. Thank you, Pete. All right, guys, that's going to wrap us up for tonight. I just want to thank all of you for being here. For the December group, we're not that far away. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing several of you again and to meet some new people. And I think everybody on the January group is new to at least have sailing with me. I don't think there's any on that group that's from our other groups.
Wow.
But that's okay.
That's so Kenneth asked about the cabins, about the bathroom setup, by the way. We're not affected. I think it's to do with the privacy in the bathroom setup, so we're not affected by that because we're solos. We've not got someone watching us shower. I don't know. I think that's what the issue is with some people. That's the only issue I see with the Epic. I think the Epic is an amazing ship, and the Escape, wow, a ship that I desperately want to cruise on some point.
All right, guys. Again, thanks for being here. Everybody have a phenomenal weekend. And in case you're interested, I'll be on the MSC Meraviglia on Wednesday out of Brooklyn. So join me for all the craziness I do on that ship.
And I'll be on the Azamara Pursuit in about 2.5 weeks' time, going from Rome to Barcelona via Monte Carlo. And we will have, we're looking at, someone mentioned transatlantics, by the way. We're working on all of those things. Honestly, all of them.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time. Have a great weekend, everybody, and a happy Friday night.
Yeah, I'm going to bed, yeah?